I'm Kenyatta Robinson. Welcome back to my Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue channel. The weather has turned very chilly, so now is the perfect time to get your smoker and make a pot roast for you and your family. I'm going to use my Lone Star Grill's 20x42 offset smoker to make sure that I get the best possible smoke flavor that I can on my chuck roast. And then for the latter part of the cook, I'm going to rely on my Mac pellet grill because it will be easier to maintain a temperature of 350 degrees to finish the pot roast off. So stick around. Hopefully this cook will motivate you to get outside with your smoker, fix a pot roast. And then I know a lot of you out there are thinking about getting a stick burner like the LSG. Maybe you'll pick up some tidbits, some pointers that will help you in that decision as well. Another good accessory to own when you have a stick burner or a cooker that cooks with wood splits is this little handy accessory called the Kindle Splitter. Basically, it's just a blade, and you can set your wood split in it and hit down on it with a sledgehammer or a mallet, something, heavy duty, and it will help you split your logs into more manageable size pieces that will burn more efficiently inside your stick burner. So I've got this humongous piece of oak, and I'm going to split it. Now we've got a couple of pieces that are more manageable, because when you have something, this thick, and combined with these two, you have something this thick, it's just not going to burn well inside of your stick burner. I'm monitoring the smoker temperature with my fireboard. We've reached the temp, 250 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and get this chuck roast on the smoker. I should also say, in addition to getting the smoker up to temperature, I also want the quality of the smoke to be clean. So something like that. A lot of times when you get your smoker up to temperature, the smoke is still dirty, kind of a dark brownish gray. You don't want that smoke on your food, so be patient, give it more time, let it get pretty clean. All right, barbecue family, the chuck roast has been on the smoker for 1 hour. We're also gonna smoke for 1 hour. We've got some carrots, an onion, and some celery. So we're gonna get that on the smoker. Put that right next to the chuck. So we'll let all this go for 1 hour. All right, barbecue family, so I let those veggies stay on the LSG for 1 hour. The chuck has been on for a little bit more than 2 hours, so I took them off of the LSG because for the next step of making this pot roast, I want to get the temperature of my cooker up to 350 degrees. That'll be a lot easier to do with my Mac pellet smoker. Of course, the easiest road would be to take everything into the kitchen and just stick it in the oven. But this is backyard barbecue, so we're gonna do everything outside. Now let me tell you what we've got in this Dutch oven. I took the vegetables, the celery, the carrots, the onion off of the LSG. I cut them up. I also removed the chuck roast, cut it into bite-sized cubes. So after I cut everything up, I put it into this Dutch oven, added salt and pepper, and in addition to those things, I also added some fresh thyme, bay leaves, as well as 5 garlic cloves that I smashed. And then for the last step, I added 2 cups of a dry red wine like Pinot or Merlot. So now we're just gonna add the Dutch oven to the pellet smoker, put it in the chamber. We're gonna cover it. So once everything comes to a simmer, I'll show you guys the next step in making this pot roast. LSG, job well done. All right, we're gonna add 2.5 ounces of tomato paste. I've got a can of diced tomatoes. And we've got 32 ounces of beef stock. Then we'll put the lid back on and let this simmer for about 1 hour. All right, everything has been simmering for another hour, so now we're ready to get to the final steps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 4 russet potatoes that I skinned and quartered. We're gonna add that to the pot roast. Basically what we're going to do is we're gonna let the potatoes simmer with everything in that Dutch oven until the potatoes and the chuck roast are fork tender. So let's get these potatoes into the pot. So something that I forgot to mention about these potatoes, so I quartered them a while ago and then I put them in water. I basically filled this bowl up to the, until the quartered potatoes were completely covered in water. Now that I'm ready to use them, I removed them from the water, patted them dry, salted them to taste, and then I put a thin layer of quick flour to the potatoes. And what that does is when I add this to the pot, this will help thicken everything up. It will help make all of this thicker. What I want to try to do now, before I cover this, is I want to try and push these potatoes down as much as I can into the liquid. Overall, this entire cook took about 7.5 hours. And I know there are going to be some guys that are saying 7.5 hours, guys, why did it take so long? When I last did a pot roast, it only took me 5 hours. Well, again, this is barbecue. It's done when it's done. I enjoy the process, so I'm never in a rush. I think every moment, when it's all said and done, every moment will be well worth the time spent. All right, I'm gonna get this pot roast into the house, let it cool off a bit, and then I'll see how it tastes. One thing I might have changed is I did notice that my vegetables did pick up a lot of smoke, and they really kind of had a gray, you know, not the most appetizing look to it. So I think maybe if I were to do it again, I would only smoke the chuck roast on the stick burner and maybe do the vegetables on the pellet grill, which is gonna give a much lighter smoke. Been waiting all day to try this. So let me make sure I get a mouthful of beef as well as some of that potato. This is well worth it, guys. I mean, the chuck roast is well, not fall off the bone tender, but super tender. You know what I mean. No complaints here. Like I said, this was worth every moment. This will go great with some rice. Sorry guys, I've been waiting all day for this and I don't want to put it down. So again, this is a multi-layered cook in terms of the different steps, whether you do it on one smoker or two, the way that I did. Once again, guys, thank you for joining me on my Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue channel. If this video was helpful and you picked up some tips, please go ahead, hit that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Again, I love hearing from you guys. Let me know your experiences with pot roast. I'm sure there's a million different ways to do it. Love to hear your thoughts, how you do it, you know, what works for you. All right, take care, get out there and use your barbecue grills and smokers. I'll see you in the next one.